Oh yeah.
Ah.
So Ben, why did you pick the film?
Why?
For starters, I thought it's probably a film that not many people have seen, even if it is a Spielberg. Most people are probably like, "Oh, I've seen Jaws, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, blah 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 blah." But Duel, not many people have heard of it. But as it was his first feature film debut, I thought it was a very important one that we should all see, just for like you can see how his influence has taken on from his execution of this movie, and all his little director trademarks and all things that like became like Spielberg traits, kind of like spawned from this going forward. And it was just bottom line is just a good film, well made and well told. A very simple premise, but it was just a great original idea, which spawned films like Christine and The Car and Mad Max, which were inspired by this film, which I thought was a good talking point. So yeah, and the fact that it had such a low budget and it was intended to be just a TV movie, Spielberg still managed to be like, okay, I'm going to put my all into it and prove to everyone that I'm going to make something that will stand the test of time, which I think it does. And it has still holds up to this day, even the fact that it's quite an old movie. Yeah.
It's a shame it's only us tonight because there's no opposition.
Yeah. We all agreed it was good. Actually, Humphrey was a bit lukewarm on it.
Explain your stance there.
Yeah. You're all we've got.
It was okay. No,
Oh, fucking hell.
it was reasonably good. Not brilliant. I don't know, it kind of...
I'm joining on my phone so I can do a screenshot.
I don't know, it didn't really grab me. It wasn't that much tension.
It wasn't.
There wasn't that much tension.
No.
Fucking
Intense enough.
I've got to say, like, as like someone who drives, this like, I don't know. It was like directly on like my lizard brain there. It was because like just when he's like just cutting him off and like driving in his way and everything, like something in my brain was going like, you fucking cunt. And like it was actually making me like mad for like the first
it's very realistic.
Yeah. So I think it was really nice that they had that whole thing in with when he's listening to the radio, but he just got this POV shot for like the whole thing. For, like just the opening. So I was like, why is this here? And it's like, oh yeah, you're really, really in his brain. You're in the car with him and everything. So when you see like this truck just fucking griefing him, like it was actually making me angry. Like being in it when he's going like, I don't believe it. And I was like, I don't believe it, man. This guy, what the fuck's happening? So yeah, I thought it was dead effective.
I heard a bit of that because towards the end where he's running out of petrol and he has to cruise on neutral for a bit.
Yeah.
That was really stressing me out, man. There was a couple of times when I had the Leaf where I'd run out of battery and I had to cruise on neutral to a charge point. And it was just bringing back all those memories, man. And I was just sat there like, this is too much, man. But that was partly why, because whenever I think of the impact score, I always think of it as like half sort of like a wider impact and then half a personal impact. And that was partly why I gave it a full score. Because I was like, that whole scene, I was just like, yeah, I could just imagine myself there and it was just really stressing me out.
Oh, well, absolutely, I don't drive.
What?
Eh?
What did you say?
I said I wouldn't know because I don't drive.
Oh.
And that's why it didn't get full impact for that.
Post-coital Humphrey is far too mellow for this. I can't hear what he's saying.
She just got in.
Oh.
It's only just
That's what she
cold.
said.
He just got in. What?
I've actually like I notice it more like kind of in my day now because I spent so much of the film going like, where the fuck is he? Where the fuck is he? I don't know. I kept looking. My eyes were like glued to his mirrors when like the guys behind him, and I was going like, where the fuck is he? Where the fuck is he? And I've just started doing that like way more now. So you're actually providing a service to like kind of the public roads and that because I'm actually taking more notice of my wing mirrors and that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm just looking out for this fucking mental truck driver. Although it could be a mental truck because I believe that the Amazon description for this is man gets terrorized by an evil truck.
It works, yeah.
To be honest, I thought that was the case.
I was thinking when I was watching it, like, I don't know, it's interesting that Steven Spielberg has basically made 2 slasher films without making a slasher film.
I think you can just see so much of it. Like, just you give him just, I don't know, you just give him like pasta and tomato sauce, and he's just like, yeah, this is the fucking best thing ever. Like, it's just such basic shit, and he's just made something really, really exceptional out of it. And it's just like, yeah, the ability to do that is just goes like so far.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, really, man. Do you think there's like through the whole film, there's what 3 scenes, maybe? Like,
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
sequences. Yeah.
It's all just like tension. It's all just kind of like when you can see him, you're just like, oh shit, what the fuck's he gonna do? And it's always just like bringing it up, and bringing it up, and bringing it up, and then he's not there, and you're like, where the fuck is he? And yeah. I was so into this.
The scene with the school bus I felt was one of the strongest because you think, oh shit, you feel for what's his name's character. It's like he's so terrified of what could happen, what this truck driver could do, that he's just so when the truck actually appears and actually helps that bus driver out, it's just in disbelief, and you just can't understand how, like, what, it's just a personal thing. He's just only after him, and it doesn't matter what happens, and it's just he just knows that he's like nothing can happen, nothing will stop this guy's vendetta against him, even in the face of something as blasé as just a bus full of school kids.
Ben, have you ever read the book?
No, I haven't. No. Which I do like. Richard Masterton, he wrote I Am Legend, so he's quite a good author.
Really? You wrote I Am Legend, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I'd be interested to read the book because the guy who wrote the book also wrote the screenplay, right?
Yeah, that's him.
I'd be interested to read the book because I can't imagine how you could make a whole book out of it.
It'd be quite a short novella, wouldn't it? If it was.
I mean, that's the thing. Like John thought the film was, barren and boring, and so like, I'm not sure how to translate to a book. But I don't know what the fuck he was talking about because
he probably watched the wrong film.
He probably did. He's like, this one's in Spanish for some reason.
The actual diner scene was the bit that was like, I'd say, one of the best bits, because it's like when you're looking for the truck and it's out there, and then the bloke gets out and he gets in a different truck and you're like, what the fuck?
That was quite a tense scene.
I just noticed everyone that wasn't Humphrey just smile a bit like, ah. It's because I had a bit of an issue with the diner scene. Because I was sort of the opinion that he should sort of make more use of the waitress to kind of like try and nail down if she knows anything about the truck driver or if she recognizes the truck at all, or if she can ask around for him to see if anyone knows who owns the truck and that. But he just kind of doesn't make use of her at all. He's just kind of going like, just give him a fucking sandwich, even to the point that he forgets that he wants ketchup halfway through finish the sandwich.
He didn't finish the sandwich.
Didn't finish the sandwich.
It's a waste of money.
He was that worried that he didn't finish the sandwich, and you want him to ask questions as well.
Yeah. I think he should make it. The waitress is his best ally there, because she's not going to lay him out. She's probably quite familiar with everyone in there. People want to be served by her, so they're not going to cause an issue. She can just go and get information for him. It doesn't make any use of her.
To be fair though, she probably wouldn't be familiar with people in there, because it's kind of like their equivalent to a service station, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think like even like no information, or even like the fact she doesn't know, is still like information you could use.
No.
If they're truck drivers, they're doing similar. They're doing like kind of the same route, like a lot of the time. I think there would be at least a couple of regulars, possibly.
I don't know, would they be doing the
Driver's
same?
license.
Oh, is it?
Oh, he's quite close.
Wait,
outside from.
Sweet, cheers, man.
What's going on?
Didn't fancy that one.
That's gone to the service station.
It's like, I'm not doing this again.
Gone to the
Especially if
service station. He's got to fact check what you're saying.
do you know anyone here? I'm just thinking, if it's the only calf around for like miles, and you're kind of doing, I don't know, you're kind of doing journeys, I feel like she would at least have a passing familiarity with like somebody, possibly.
I don't know if you'd be doing the same journeys though, would you?
I don't know. This is why we need Emmanuel. He has a knowledge of the American highway.
Thinking about it, yeah, that's probably why Emmanuel didn't get along with it, because it was just a commute.
Yeah, it's all committed.
He's just like, oh yeah, that's Steve's truck. He chases me around all the time.
I hope you've learned your lesson, Ben. You either pick films with too much commuting or not enough.
What was
I
it?
don't know what it's
Falling
gonna-
down
not
was
gonna
basically
happen.
a commute as well.
What was the one? What was the one he had a problem with because there wasn't enough commuting in it?
7.
7. Of course it is.
Yeah, I was talking to Emmanuel yesterday about it, because I said as soon as Ben said he was going to pick Joe, I was like, Emmanuel's going to trash this. And yeah, I was saying to him like, yeah, just because it's like a 70s film, it's kind of a similar mood to Falling Down. And like as soon as I said Falling Down, he was like,
Oh, man. Crap.
"Oh, that's good." Yeah. Did you lock the door? Huh? Did you lock the door? Yeah. All right, sweet.
Don't take his word for it.
Oh, it's got rough.
I'm not convinced.
Oh wow, we could have taken away.
Oh, I did.
I thought you guys went somewhere to eat, or did you not?
We would
No,
have
he
got
didn't go to the
wagons on-
diner.
we would have got
Yeah.
wagons on
Didn't
this
want to be
plate.
identified by someone not asking a
Oh,
waitress.
Emmanuel's in the waiting room.
Oh, very fortuitous. Emmanuel, we need you.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that, guys.
All right, man.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot. Doing
But when he
save the date.
Oh, nice.
Emmanuel's getting married, everybody.
Yes, it hasn't given the hospital. Oh, what the fuck? How do I sort this?
Are we good? Is everyone happy?
5 guys have
Yeah.
screwed us.
What? What have they done?
They haven't given me my hot dog.
Ah,
What a load of crap.
Motherfuckers. At least you got. Oh, some of it.
Well, the problem is that they've given us all of Pat's order, but none of mine.
No,
Oh, fuckers.
Nice.
Oh,
Very nice.
disappointing.
I
Get
hate-
Rachel on the phone. She'll have it.
I'm already reporting it.
Oh,
Let me just order something. You're the only one that's hungry, you know?
not really.
Jesus Christ.
I should hate this conversation, shouldn't I?
And why are you so against ordering something?
Wait, what?
I don't know, Dan's really against ordering something for some reason.
Emmanuel, do you know much about American highways?
yeah. Yeah, well, a bit. Why?
Is it regular
There's not much to know about them.
for truck drivers to do the same route as part of their job just over and over again?
Yeah, it's time wise. Well, I'm talking about sorry. Time wise,
What do you want to do?
fine.
Get a refund.
Yeah, I'm talking
Do you
about.
want me to order you something else?
Yeah, that's alright, man. I've got some.
You sure?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Guys,
time
yeah, I
wise,
feel really
you
bad.
pick the
That's
most
all right, mate.
efficient route
Okay.
with all the same stops and everything,
That's really
and
cheap.
then you do them again and again and again, because that's what's going to get you there faster. And the only reason you're going to change your route is if the construction work or something.
Oh,
So truck drivers do the same route all the time in America. Get fucked.
Yeah, but Dennis Weaver might not know that. And if Dennis Weaver doesn't know it, his character definitely doesn't.
Oh, what was that in reference to? Like,
Oh, we was
would
talking
that
about the
change
diner
anything?
scene because Alec was saying that he should have asked the waitress which one of them in there was the truck driver, and I was saying like if it's like the equivalent to like a service station, there's probably not regulars in there.
I was saying I think that he should make more use of her to see if like she recognizes the truck, if she knows anyone who knows anything about the truck, something. But he doesn't really ask her for anything, and I think that's a bit silly of
To
him.
be honest, by that point, he was already starting to lose it, and he wasn't thinking straight.
yeah, that's what I'd say.
So
He's
I'm
He's
so
paranoid.
So
Cool, but
actually.
yeah, so to be honest, by that point there was a lot of things he could have done, but he did none of them because he was losing it. So
Yeah, I just think like as someone who kind of like panics a lot, I'd be kind of going for something a bit safer. I'd be going for something that let me get information from like kind of a safe place rather than I'm panicking. I want to be safe. I'm gonna find a random and like slap his sandwich out of his hand, and that I just that'll help. I just
to be honest, what you said makes sense. Don't get me wrong, I think we all understand that. I think
yeah.
he's been portrayed as this your average Joe. He almost never really encounters a situation. His wife was being hurt. He's just kind of. I don't think he has coping mechanisms.
No.
So I'm not surprised he reacted in a bad way and did some stuff that made absolutely no sense.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with him being a
Yeah.
little bit erratic because he's panicking, but it just considering he's like established to be someone who has trouble asserting himself, just running up to someone, going like "Stop it, you bitch!" Like it seemed a little bit out of character for me. But like, yeah, it's just character being stupid, I guess.
And maybe it's the way they wrote it, because if you got the same guy with falling down, that guy had never done anything like that. And then suddenly he's shooting up the whole town. And even though it was ridiculous, it kind of made sense with the character.
Sorry, I'm getting acid reflux. Someone.
Oh, sorry, man.
Oh, man. I
um,
think it's better now because I've turned on sound canceling. It was off.
yeah.
Oh, where's John?
Are you not joining tonight?
Oh, Camilla. Camilla said falling down sucks.
Yeah,
Can't
take,
get a break this week then.
take that, John.
That's it. I'm not being best man anymore.
If you can't appreciate Michael Douglas, you can't appreciate me.
Oh man, what a statement.
Yeah, it's sorry, I'm just kind of circling back, but yeah, my thing was I was sort of when I was watching the scene, I was sort of going like, why is he not asking anybody? Why is he not trying to gather more information? And it's because you got to preserve like the mystery of who's driving the truck, but which I think is important. I think you do need to preserve the mystery of who's driving the truck. But I think I just wanted him to be a little bit more kind of active in
proactive.
trying to work it out rather than just going like the script says I can't find it out, so I'm not going to ask.
I do think that's part of the tension, though, because if he'd have gone up to the waitress and she didn't know, then you kind of remove a level of frustration.
Excuse me.
I'm not sure about that because if he's more proactive and not getting anywhere, I feel like that's more tension. Excuse me.
Because if you've got him not doing things like that, then you've also got the level of like you sitting at home going like, why are you just picking a random guy to slap a sandwich? Like it's like if he's kind of like doing the logical thing, then there's a little bit of there's a little bit of I guess there's the same amount of tension, but you don't get the frustration from the scene as well.
So yeah, but I think if you just had, I'm only talking like about a couple of lines and stuff, so like it's not that big. But I think if he's like trying it out, not getting anywhere, and then getting frustrated to the point where he slaps a sandwich out of the guy's hand, I'd kind of just believe it a little bit more. I guess is my gripe, but it's a little thing.
Yeah.
What I did enjoy when I was watching it with Eb though is she started she started trying to like say like, here's what I'd do in this situation, and she's going like, why don't you just park on the side of the road and like wait for him, like wait like an hour, he's going to be gone. And I was like, oh,
That's what you tried.
This is nice, this is going to come a bit later. I'm glad this is accounted for. You find out that answer later. It's cool.
I really like the scene towards the end where he stops the old couple in the middle of the road. And I thought the characters in that were just perfect, man, because you got the guy who's like, what's the matter? And he's like listening to him going like, yeah, I'll do that for you. And then his wife's like, no, we don't want any trouble. Come on, let's just go. It's just like the perfect like frustration, man. Like I really enjoyed the way that was set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, every situation and scenario that you could think of would happen on the road, which I thought was quite clever.
And I thought it was good as well when like I said when I was watching it with Ed, when she was going like, why doesn't he just call the police? And then he gets to the bit where he does actually call the police, and then he like drives at the phone booth, and I was like, yeah. I was like, this is such a cool little premise. He's just driving around, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Like,
I think it is that again, he wasn't in his right mind. He should have called the police
sooner,
way before that.
Yeah,
but he for some reason, again, he wasn't thinking straight. He talked. It's like he almost talked about it. He talked about doing it, but then he never did it. At the stations where the last stop where he could have actually done it, because or he would have had a better chance at doing it. But then he waited till he was at that random lady's place. And
I
was
mean, they
just
kind of
like,
account for that because he's saying like, I could call the police, but I don't actually have any evidence. Then no one here is going to back me up. Whereas I think by the time he actually calls, but he actually goes to the reptile like place, he's actually like hit his car at points. So like he actually does have more evidence than nothing.
I have to admit that reptile
be
scene
honest.
was one where I was kind of going like,
Aw.
if you had like a snake like wait, I can't even think of the word. It's basically a snake like in action. and
Lunging.
then lunging, that's it, yeah.
Bounding.
You've got that going on, and then there's like another lizard just like wandering around while she's going like, "Oh god!" And then you've got this massive truck just doing donuts around the place, and I was just like, "No, this is too much."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, she didn't necessarily, huh? She didn't necessarily, oh, she's just waving at me back.
No, sorry, it's
didn't
really funny when you got your background sort of like just like fading out everything behind you that's not you, because it just looks like you're like hallucinating someone.
I'm just wet someone?
You're hallucinating.
I'm just wet someone? Oh.
He is hallucinating right now.
Emmanuel's lost it.
But yeah, he didn't need evidence. It's like different times people call the police. The thing is, like, to me, in a real world situation, especially back then, he would have called them. The nearby patrol would have came and said, "What's the allegation, sir?" And then he would have said, "This guy tried to do X, Y, and Z to me." And he could have said all this stuff. And the thing is, they would have first saw the truck and then went, wait, no, this is messed up. The guy had multiple license plates. He was already dodged. Now the police would have saw that and gone, wait, this guy seems like he's at some illegal stuff. He had one that was from Mexico as well, by the way. Just randomly on the truck. The police would have stayed around. The guy could have left, and then that would have been basically the end of the movie, because when the guy tried to come out to drive away again, the police were like, hello. And if the guy tried to drive off, he then would have radioed for backup, and then there would have been a police chase in the movie, but then the movie wouldn't have happened, really. It would have ended there. And that's not exciting. So like if he did, like I think it would have helped, but obviously he wasn't thinking straight. So there you go.
I mean, like, I didn't really have a problem with the series of events or like when things happened or anything like that. But I think one of the things that I knocked a point off the story for was just the way that certain bits were written, like the setup with the radiator hose and then that later on bursting. Like that was fine, but like when it burst, like I really didn't like the bit where there was like a voiceover of his mind just going like the radiator hose. I was
The
just
voiceover was a bit
like-
dated. That's the only dated part of it,
Mm,
I think.
yeah, I mean that was one of like there's a few things that gave it away as a TV movie, and that was one of them.
I didn't mind all that. I did like the shots up his nose though. That was fun. The radiator hose. Yeah, I guess like if you're kind of just doing like a I don't know, you don't want people to who aren't paying attention like to kind of miss what's happening. So I guess you do kind of need to like kind of account for it. I guess like yeah, it's probably pretty hammy, but like
Yeah,
you see
that's
why
what I
it's
mean,
there.
really, because like, because if you're in the cinema, you can kind of count on people Well, it's kind of like if somebody's not paying attention in the cinema, then that's on them. But with a TV movie, you kind of have to put those bits in just to be like, by the way. Yeah.
So you are aware there was a problem with the radiator hole. No, I quite liked the sort of inner monologue. You get kind of the I think like it is quite effective at points where he's kind of like trying to work out what he's going to do and that, and then you kind of get the information that his car's like just not powerful enough to go 90 or 100 for any like amount of time, and it's like that's a pretty good, that's something that he would be considering, but there is also information we're getting that gives you kind of like it gives you kind of a limitation of like what he's working with, and it's like I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I wasn't against the inner monologue as a concept. It's just like, yeah, the odd line of it, I was kind of going over.
See, I like the one when he's in the bathroom and he's talking about like just one thing and you're back in the jungle again, and I was like, yeah, I really, again, like as a driver, something that kind of is really true for me, because it's like someone just kind of looks at you funny, and like just being in your own like little sort of metal box where you can just scream at whatever with no consequence, and that and you kind of like, you fucking got it. And like, yeah, there's just something as well where like I'd never do it in person, but like when someone cuts me off, I like start speeding up just so I can look at the guy, and like you kind of, it's just like this kind of really weird like animal instinct that you have when you're like in a car, and like, everything's just a little bit heightened.
So. No, I did love the first bit of conflict where the truck was right up his arse, and then he just like go round, because like that little bit, I was just like, yeah, it just happens to you like all the time round in Brighton, and then for him to go round and then slow down, I was like, I could feel myself getting road rage with him.
Yeah. So it's so effective, and like it's not even something that's. I think it all kind of comes down to that opening credits thing where you are in the POV shot and everything. Like you don't think it's for anything other than just the credits, but like it's really, really effective at just getting you in the headspace. And then you hear someone on the radio, and he's talking about like he feels embarrassed about saying he's not the man of the house on the census report thing. And it's just something. It's just something else that kind of ties in with his character, just like this idea of like masculinity and it being like heavily diminished in a marriage, and that I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
that station annoyed me so much. I was like,
a bit closer than that.
I don't know. I was like, I don't want to listen to you.
Your robot.
Smile.
Station. I think like.
I don't know if this happened for anyone else, but when I said, does it hit quite close to the knuckle, Emmanuel's connection kind of cut out and he went, no.
Oh, man. Nah, I mean, like, things that be relevant. So I didn't really pay too much attention to it because I know at the time there would have been plenty of people who would have got with him, even though he was being very census part. So this whole kind of it's like, oh, we're doing this for this reason. No, it's really for that reason. No, we're just asking this because of this. No, because it's that. And then you're going to tell everyone in the neighborhood. It's like, but we're not, sir. But you are. I'm just like, to be honest, that's a lot of people straight up. So that's pretty realistic.
I don't know if the connection like dropped out for anyone else, but I'm not sure where we are now. So
Yeah, it did drop out.
Oh, sorry.
That's it.
Just
You've muted yourself.
yeah, I muted myself on purpose. I was like, okay, it's simple. Let me just mute.
That was brilliant because you literally said, "I'm going to mute myself."
Oh, I didn't hear that.
you muted yourself.
Really.
That's what happens when you focus more on your food.
Oh, man.
You'd be a great Alexa. Lights on, Alexa. Lights are on. I'll just pick up another thread then. Yeah, the bit for me, because like the diner thing I can kind of take or leave, because like at the end of the day he just needs to not know who's driving the truck. So like, yeah, I'm not gonna hold it against it. However, I do think that oh, actually, I'd rather talk about something positive for now. I really like the scene where he's at the level crossing and the truck starts like fucking pushing him. I thought that was really nice. I thought that was a really cool little scene there.
Yeah, that would be fucking terrifying, wouldn't it?
That's the thing. Ed was going like, "Get out of the car and smash him," and I was like, "No," because then he loses his car and he's stuck in the desert.
No, where Ben's Airbnb was this weekend, there was like on the way there, because it was in a part of Brighton that I've never been to before, and on the way there was a level crossing, and just seeing the sign for the level crossing, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just something inherently scary about level crossings, isn't there?
Yeah. I thought it was such a good scene, though. Just the pushing him. Like, well, I now sound a bit homoerotic, so I'll go with the other one. Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah, my main kind of issue with it is that he waits by the side of the road, says, "I'm not going to move for at least an hour."
I'm still annoyed at that.
Oh, okay then.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Kebabs are important things. Sorry, you got a burger, didn't you? Sorry. Yeah, it's
Sorry, Pat distracted me because he just ate a crumb off his knee.
Things you don't see when I'm at home.
Oh. Why is everyone fucking naked for this?
I'm not naked.
I've got any fucking shorts on.
I've got shorts on too.
No, Rob doesn't have shorts on.
He does.
Yeah, shorts on.
You got tiny little pants on. Oh, okay, right. It all just got eaten by your butt. The bit I've got a problem with is when he waits for the side of the road, says, "I'm not moving for at least an hour," and then he's like, "I'm never gonna get to Forbes anyway," and then yeah, he just starts carrying on the way that he was going anyway. And for me, that's a bit of a problem, because I'm sort of like, what's he even trying to achieve at that point? Why doesn't he just try and go home?
I kind of read it as like as an anxiety rather than a literal thing.
What do you mean?
Whereas I kind of read it as him being like, well, sort of worried about the situation and being like, "Oh, what's the point? I'm never going to make it," and still trying to, rather than sort of going like, rather than it being a case of, "Oh, I might as well turn around now."
That was a good point, though. Obviously, this still relates to how he wasn't thinking straight pretty much most of the whole time. except at the end when he had a kind of a good idea um, to help kill the driver, to kill the driver, or to at least escape his situation. He didn't know if it was going to actually work, but he could have, yeah, after waiting on those trains, like near the train tracks, he could have turned around and then picked a different way to go home. Like it's not the only highway, yes. It would have been a massive detour, but he would have never met that driver again.
That's kind of the thing as well. Like I kind of the change I want to make is that he tries to go home and then it plays out exactly the same.
Mm.
I just wanted him to turn around because then the stakes are, because if I get what you mean about it being a metaphorical thing, but like I did take it literally. So if he tries to go home and then is still getting chased, then like the dynamic becomes, I just want to fucking leave this. Like I just want to go home and forget about it. And he still doesn't even let him do that. Whereas the way it is he's still going to try and get hold of this guy who's going to, he won't even be there anymore. So I don't know what he's trying to accomplish.
Mm.
And then, yeah, it all just kind of plays out. And so that's why I took a little bit off Impact, because I was sort of like, I don't know why that last bit happened then. I don't know why he wouldn't try and go home.
Mm. Yeah, no, I see your point. Like it didn't really change anything for me, but yeah.
I liked when the truck driver died.
That was another little thing I had with it though. Because
what?
Well, he starts driving up, like you can tell, like kind of the elevation is, he's driving uphill, and they're on like mountain ranges and all that. So like he's got to be able to, and you get like a shot of like this cliff that he's driving around, so like you can see that it's visible from the road that it is a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into this whole thing where they're like driving at each other, and then the main guy is driving at him, but he like jumps out of the car, and then the car keeps coming at him, and he's still like driving at him. You could see that he's gone. I think if you had a brain cell and you'd seen that you're on a cliff, which you could visibly see, you probably wouldn't keep driving. But like he keeps driving just that little bit, and then he realizes what he's done and like tries to put the brake on. But I don't know. I'm sort of like, I feel like you'd be somewhat aware that you're on high ground.
Yeah.
Artistic license.
Yeah, he just keeps driving though, and I'm just like, oh, you just hit the car.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a limitation with knowing literally nothing about the driver. Is that like if you kind of knew a little bit about his motives or sort of why he was doing what he was doing, then maybe you could have sympathised with that scene a little bit more. But yeah, as it stands, it is a little bit. It's kind of cold.
Some sort of like if he like tried to push the wreckage into him, and like he just misses, that I could get.
Yeah,
that's a little bit stronger. But it's like there's like just that little, I don't know if it's the way it's edited, but like there's a shot in between where like I feel like he should have put the brake on, and he doesn't. And I'm like, you gotta know what he's doing. Like this is really transparent, and like he's just from the way he's like bullying him, he seems to have a level of intelligence about him.
Yeah.
So I'm just forced to conclude he hates the color orange, or he hates Valiant, or
No, I think he's just a serial. I think he is a serial killer. He either kills people this way, or he injures them in these kind of life death races all the time. That's the reason why he has multiple license plates on his thing. He's used to doing this and used to getting away with it somehow. I mean, I'm not going to talk about how that seems strange, but whatever. Saying that, I think they didn't really set it do it. I think set it up. I say set it up properly, do it properly. But I think they was trying to do it in the end where the guy he was making a last ditch attempt to kind of wreck the guy's car, so at least he wouldn't be able to come after him in the truck. The fact that I think the truck was meant to get stuck in one of the in the truck somehow so that he could no longer kind of stop. Because I think the idea was that he should have been able to stop, but because the car got stuck in the truck, he wasn't able to stop. Something happened, so he just ended up going off the cliff. But then at the same time, maybe it was too late for him to unbuckle and jump out. So he just ends up dying in the cab, supposedly.
I just think the way it's edited, he should know where he is, and he should see that the guy's not even in the car anymore. And I'm like, I don't see like where the equation is in your head where you go, in my final moments, this car will be gone. I will literally give my life to make sure this car no longer exists on planet Earth. Like
you say this, but it's the same guy who was doing donuts at the lizard place. Like he
Yeah.
had jumped out away, but he just kept coming in the place. He knew he wasn't gonna run over him. He was just doing it for the sake of doing it. So to me, I'm not even that surprised that he's just like, well, I'm gonna like crash into this burning car. What you gonna do about it?
I don't know. I don't know. I just can't. There's like fucking with someone, but then there's like you're fucking with someone at your own expense, and it's like, oh, I don't know what you're getting out of it then. Like,
One thing that got to me was how was that truck going so quick?
because he had some kind of souped up diesel or something. I don't know.
'Cause, I don't know if it was like that in the 70s, but trucks tend to have like a limit.
I suppose to be fair, it might be the case that trucks now have a limit because of things like that.
Because of
Somebody
this
saw
film.
and was like, we can't risk it.
So when I was sitting there watching it and I saw the truck go past the car, which was going at like 70 miles an hour, I'm like, oh, what's going on here?
Hold on a minute. I like the people have watched this film and gone like, we need to put a stop to this shit.
Too much fucking.
Saying that, Pat probably has a point. Like the guy, the main character in the movie, was also surprised. So there's probably something to that. Like it did seem like it was some souped up, modified, whatever. It did not seem normal that he was able to do that for that long.
Especially since it was a tanker as well.
Yeah, the amount of gas he would have been using to actually maintain that speed with that weight, he must have modified it so that most of the tanker fed was like a fuel tank.
Yeah.
Instead of being just a carrying part, it actually served as a way just to keep helping him burn through the fuel. I don't know how normal fuel tankers are rigged up, but he probably edited his in a way so that he could do that and get away with it. But
and then another bit was when he drove off the cliff, considering he's supposed to, well, it wasn't mentioned, but I'm assuming that he had like a full load of petrol or diesel or whatever he was carrying, and the thing just went down the hill, didn't even spark, didn't blow up or anything like that.
I was
What's
waiting
clear to
for
see?
this.
It
What's
wasn't
clear to
done
see
by
is
Michael Bay.
Steven Spielberg hadn't seen Trump.
maybe it was the budget. Maybe they was just like, oh no, we did so much, we can't.
Yeah, but you should have done that with Michael Bay.
To be fair, it
Cut
was
out of it is explosives.
the budget had a lot to do with that, you know, because they only had 3 trucks and they could only destroy one of them. So they had one opportunity to do that.
What'd you say?
It's
They
quite
had
good for one take.
Yeah, one take of that truck going off that cliff. That's all they had.
Oh, well, hats off to them.
Ben, you know what that makes me think of? A situation where they had 3 but destroyed 1.
What's that?
The Dark Knight. They destroyed 1 of the 3 IMAX cameras in the world.
Oh yeah, that's true. That was just the camera.
I said, oh crap, we gotta get another one. What you mean? We freaking destroyed it. To be honest, I think they were using that camera in ways no one's been using that camera before.
No, they hadn't. That was the first time. That's true.
Tommy Wiseau probably used it like that. I'm sorry, I'm just picturing Pat watching the end of this movie like Homer Simpson at the burrito van. It's like, where's my explosion? Where's my explosion?
I
Interesting.
was watching it and I was like, is that it?
Is that why you were so stingy on impact?
Yeah.
I don't know.
When I watched it with him, she was going like, "Go boom, no boom, what, where boom? We need boom."
I think we've been so poisoned by people like Michael Bay that you just naturally expect an explosion when something falls off a cliff.
Poison is a good word.
I mean, I think they do kind of set up for it to happen because it's like you're seeing flammable all over it, and you go like, fuck, that's gonna blow. But no, I think that's kind of nice actually. But
It's interesting because Spielberg said in the making of it that he deliberately didn't want an explosion, even if it did. He was like, he wanted the truck to have a slow death. He didn't want it to be just like it's dead.
Did you just call it a slut?
A slow death.
You're about to I think you're saying truck and you ended up saying slut.
Oh, my point's lost.
Slut near to blow up, she did.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fuck. Oh, dear.
Sorry.
I wanted to say truck and I said slut.
Ben said my mental.
You should edit the description on Amazon.
On the way, slut chases man.
He's driving and then he goes like, wait, why am I running from this?
Oh dear.
So what was I saying?
Spielberg wanted the slut to have a slow death. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but this is a bit of a spoiler for the next pick, but the truck, Spielberg reused the sound effect of the truck dying in Jaws. It's the same sound effect he used when the shark is defeated in Jaws. Yeah,
Really?
it's that same sound effect.
Oh, that's funny.
Did you watch the Oh, actually, you've got a different Blu-ray to me, haven't you, Ben?
Sorry, I'm just picturing like the cover of Jaws, but it's like a shark on the top, and it's like a big lady coming out. It's like slut.
The chat's broke.
Yeah, no, I was watching there's a making of documentary on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. Like Steven Spielberg was saying that he chose the truck that he chose for it because it was the only one that he felt he could find that had a face.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, I heard that too. I don't think I've seen it, but I might have seen it ages ago, actually.
Mhm.
It doesn't look like it's grinning, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't think that would just kill the conversation. Stone did. But
I've got no more trivia.
Keep on trucking.
yeah, no, I think this is like it, I was really impressed with this film. I wasn't. I think I was expecting something. I wasn't expecting Mad Max, but when we came out of Mad Max Fury Road, I think Rob said it feels like we've been in a car for 3 hours, and I was I was kind of expecting a similar sort of feel, and it did, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Where I was like, wow, this film's actually like got a finger on my fucking lizard brain.
I mean, the difference for me between the two, or between the three, if you include Locke as well, is that in all three, I kind of like finished the film thinking I feel like I was in a car the whole time. But I feel like with Locke, there wasn't. I still don't really get the purpose of being in the car that whole time because you're literally just listening to him making phone calls, and it's like, well, I don't really give a shit. and and then with Mad Max Fury Road, like, yeah, again, like I'm not really too sure why you're in the car the whole time, other than that everything's happening at speed. But other than that, it's like whatever. Whereas with this, like the car is part of the tension. So yeah, it's a lot more effective than both of them, I think.
Especially as sort of like a metaphor for like masculinity as well. It's not something that he maintains that well. It's not something that's particularly powerful.
Mm.
And then you got this guy who's like using it like a weapon, and it's like that nice little subtext stuff. Like,
Yeah, indeed.
I think that's what kind of makes it like a simple premise done well, because it's like there's a lot of extras that kind of aren't explicitly said, and but are there. Yeah. Do you want to talk about acting or something, or have we got more about story?
I was just gonna say, like, it kind of reminds me of something that you said, Pat, when we were talking about Locke before, and you were saying about how like one of the things that, well, one of the reasons that you like Locke is because you like minimalist cinema. But like, yeah, I think that the difference between Locke and this is like this is sort of, there's there's not a great deal to it, but you get all of that tension. Whereas with Locke, like you could take him out of the car and sit him in a room somewhere and have the exact same film.
Damn brilliant.
As well.
The girl was essential to the plot. Yeah.
I think the thing is like that promise of the premise stuff, and it's like, it is not just a car and a truck like driving down the highway. There's like just so much sort of shifting. He's like, oh, this is some asshole. Oh, this guy's actually trying to kill me. Like, oh, how can I like fix this? And like, it's all just like this dynamic just keeps switching, and I think that's what makes it so like engaging.
Yeah.
Right. This is typical Ben. I'll start complimenting his film. How you doing there, Pat? Yes. So how you doing there?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Good.
I figured we'll wait for Ben to come back in case he has something to say about the story. But I guess we'll never know until he comes back.
What's up? Oh, Ben. Oh, wait for Ben to come back.
Emmanuel, you got something to say about story? Because you hated it?
Yeah, I've been trying not to cuss it too much.
That's right, John's like this, so we need someone to cuss it.
I thought you were doing play as a song then, Ben.
Not today.
Ben, the only thing you missed was might have a song. The only thing you missed was me saying I was trying not to cuss it that much, but Alec was saying since John isn't here, we need someone to. What was I gonna say? I think it's more one of these things where it just didn't sync with me. I think I explained it better to Rob, but I just didn't get on with it pretty much. I was sorry, Ben. I was really bored the whole time basically. And I didn't care about the character at all, whether he lived or died. every time he was doing some dumb decision, even though, bear in mind, he was losing it, I was just like, okay, cool. And I just carried on doing some stuff just to kind of distract me throughout the film, whether I was playing a game or whatever it is. And then,
St. John.
like I usually don't like do things while I watch a movie, but I was like, this is a long time. Every film is long, but I was just like, normally I get into it, I'm like, yeah, but I'm just like, you're still driving, you're still making some dumb decisions. You know what? When is this going to be over? Then it got to the school bus, and I was just like, dude, one dumb decision after another. I was like, I don't know where this is going. Eventually, it ended. I was like, it ended great. Wait, wait. How's he gonna get home? It's like, well, I guess he's gonna hitchhike. Well, sucks for that guy. Whatever.
That'd be a great little teaser if he hitchhiked and then like another truck came down. And he was
I could just imagine him calling his wife, and his wife's just like, so, like, you okay? Oh, so did you call the police? Not at first. Why didn't you call the police? I tried eventually, and then he ran over the booth. Like, why did you turn around? I don't know. God's sakes. Whatever. I'm glad you're safe. Just get home. Bye. I gotta take the kids to school.
I guess he was just glad he was still alive and the truck had died.
Yeah, fair enough. I just wonder how far that quarry was from the main road. I can't remember how long it took to drive there at speed, but he was a very far away from anywhere where he could actually hitchhike. And I can't remember Uber. Oh my goodness. And the last time he drank any water was like I'm trying to think. It was
He's in the diner.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think that might have been at least 6 hours prior to that. It's freaking hot. He would have been sweating the whole time. Like by the time he even gets to hitchhike, he's probably going to be dehydrated as crap.
Yeah, he's gonna die of exposure because he didn't even eat the fucking cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Point is, that guy.
Oh, that wasn't an argument. I was agreeing with you.
Oh yeah.
The cheese
I'm just
sandwich.
thinking. You want a cheese sandwich now, Dan?
A nice post-coital cheese sandwich.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Whenever that guy gets home, he's gonna be in a state. I think he's gonna need time off work. He needs some counseling. Actually, back then counseling wasn't really. But to be honest, he lost it enough to need counseling even back then. So yeah.
I would quite like that as a sequel, just him going into work the next day and his boss being like, "Why didn't you get to Forbes?" And he's like, "Well,
There's a story there.
I have no proof for this, but what happened was."
He like explains the other thing, and then at the end he goes, "Why don't you just call him?"
That's another thing as well. I didn't think about that. But the fact that like when he got to the actually no, I'm trying to think. Yeah, when he got to that diner, he didn't call no one. He was losing it so much he didn't even call the person to say, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna make it.
I thought you said president.
God bless, yeah.
Mr. President, you should be aware there's a lunatic on the road.
Oh man. To be honest, if he did it, like I'm not even sure I'd be that surprised. The people on the radio seemed not all that great, that bright either.
It kind of reminded me of an episode of Tales of the Unexpected, and like I was kind of thinking, like if it was an episode of Tales of the Unexpected, how would it have played out? And it reminded me of this time, like ages ago, And basically, what happened was I was in the wrong lane on a roundabout, so I accidentally like blocked someone off and they missed their exit. And so this guy got like really pissed off with me, and like it was my fault, but Rachel flipped him off. And it was making me think of that. So like I was thinking like if it was an episode of Tales of the Unexpected, it would have been really funny if like the whole thing played out, and then at the end the truck driver was like, "I didn't mean to wave you onto traffic. I'm really sorry."
Oh, man.
That'd be great actually if the whole thing was him going like, "I'm sorry." I just wanted to tell you in person.
Oh, man.
Are you all right, Ben? You seem a little bit dead inside.
Oh, have a sleep.
Dead inside.
Oh fuck! I haven't changed. I don't know if you want to go on to acting or something. Ben, have you got anything you want to say about story?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm?
So one more thing I'd like to say. I found it, again, this is attributed to his mental state, so whatever. Every time he tried to explain himself, he never said like the straightforward, obvious thing. He'd always say something that wasn't really helpful or wasn't going to be helpful to explaining what's actually happening. And it's just like, maybe if you like didn't go all around the houses and actually just say it straight, maybe someone actually might believe you or whatnot. But it just kind of, it's like when he was trying to get the kids out the way. He's like, why are you trying to? They're not in the road. And the driver, the guy had a the guy had that's a good reason. The guy had a point. He's like, the kids ain't in the road. What's wrong with you? But you could have said like, that truck driver tried to run me over and has tried to run over multiple people. So I'm worried he's going to try and run over kids. But instead of saying that, he's like, no, they just gotta go. It's just gotta go. But it's like, dude, you look like a madman. No one's gonna believe you. But anyway.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think if you're gonna, yeah, I think if you're gonna like say he's not gonna talk to the waitress because like he's being erratic, yeah, you kind of gotta allow all of that because like yeah, you're not at your most articulate.
No.
But yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem. I can see what you're saying.
Oh, it's not that I had a problem. It was more that it's just one of those things I noticed. I was just like, oh, yeah, that's not gonna help your cause.
That'd be great though if he's just like nearly being run off the road and then he's going like, actually, sir, I do have a problem. That chap over there. He's just like perfectly articulate.
I do. Oh yeah, that was it. I found it really funny or interesting how after he got whiplash, he was able to run full pelt like that. I don't know if anyone here has tried to run really as fast as they can while they have a neck injury, but I don't think he would have been able to run. He would have got a little bit far and been like, oh crap, no, I gotta stop this. But he was just like, maybe he was so out of it, he couldn't feel the pain. He was so far gone. I don't know. Sorry, continue. I just found it funny. I was like, I remember thinking, how are you running? just, just crash. Whatever.
You do it,
He's on the ocean. Any more on story? No. Acting.
I thought the guy, for the most part, the main character, I thought his acting was actually pretty good. It was a lot of the rest of the randoms that kind of brought it down for me. Yeah, I did think his acting was pretty decent. Like with what he was given, the script he was given, the situation, I thought, you know what? I actually do believe you're losing it, being irrational and just not good with coping with a lot of stuff. You know what? I think you did well.
Interestingly enough, one of the original choices for the main actor was Dustin Hoffman.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it would have been better in a way, but he would have been still pretty damn good in it.
Oh, who's he from? What's he from?
Dustin Hoffman, he's, I don't know what film you'd have seen him in, but he was in Midnight Cowboy.
He's the red panda from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, he's in Kung Fu Panda.
I'm not sure it would have had the same tension if it was a red panda.
No.
Yeah, I definitely don't know the guy, but thank you.
Oh, you know him from something.
I'll post a gift for him.
Meet the Focus.
Is Pat alive?
Oh, is he in that?
Excellent.
Then I must have seen him then, if he's
You've definitely seen him somewhere.
in that film. Pat said.
Yeah, in Hook, obviously, as Captain Hook.
Oh, I don't watch that film.
What was that escape film?
Snake film.
Escape film.
Oh.
Yes.
You mean Papillon?
Yeah, that's the one. I don't know why I was about to call him Palpatine.
It sounded like Ben said Pat Beyond.
Well, I think Dustin Hoffman was in this Spielberg one actually. It's called Sluts.
What?
That's a bit X-rated for Spielberg.
It was a callback to a previous joke. It's all right. Yeah, I think Dennis Weaver's like really, really cool. Like I think he's got like kind of a nice sort of way with him where like he kind of, he's very like I think I got the sense that he was quite set in his ways, and like kind of I don't know, stuffed shirt kind of character, and like I thought he did like the panicking quite well.
Mm. Yeah, in that documentary that's on the Blu-ray, Steven Spielberg talks about why he wanted Dennis Weaver, and I don't know. I think when I was watching the film, like I didn't think he was like amazing or anything, but I think that was partly because I'd never seen him in anything else before. But in the documentary, Steven Spielberg talks about how he really rates him as a character actor and how he'd seen him in something else, and that was what made him want him for this. And then they show a clip of him in the other thing, and he's basically acting like I don't know what the guy's name is, but you know, like the bellboy in 40 Towers.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of acting like that, and I was like, to be fair, like if that's kind of like if what he's playing in this isn't just him, then like fair enough. Like that's
Oh, you think like he did well basically.
yeah. I think like the reason I wasn't that impressed, well, not that impressed, but like the reason it didn't stand out to me is because I wasn't familiar with him. But yeah, sort of looking at clips from other things, like you can see it is.
And I thought like a lot of the extras are really kind of well characterized. Even I say extras, like the supporting characters, I thought they were all quite well realized, considering they're not in it a lot, like just by design. So I think all the guys in the bar kind of giving him a bit of a funny look, but like it's all just menacing enough. I thought that was quite good, and the couple who he stops and that. I thought that was all good stuff.
Yeah, it was. It would have been. The thing is, this is as well. Like, again, it kind of relates to how he just wasn't with it. Instead of asking them for a lift, he asked them to call the police for him. If he honestly, because I think they might have been willing to give him a lift because they said, you have car trouble. He's like, yeah, if he had asked, could you give me a lift please to the next like service station, whatever you come across, they probably would have said yes. But then he was like, oh, can you go there and call the police for me? I don't think much people would want to get involved in any of that.
Yeah, well, that's a realistic like reaction to the whole situation. Isn't it? So you kind of feel for them. It's like, yeah, I get why they just drove off.
Yeah.
But
Plus,
to be
it would have been
fair,
great if he came in, ran them off the road, something crazy happened to them, that maybe they aren't alive. Then he drives the car back to his car, and then gets his car, and then it would have just been crazy again. Anyway, carry on.
yeah, to be fair, I can see his choice not to though, because you don't know what he's going to do, and if he's in their car, then he's putting them in danger. So
I kind of imagined me and Rachel in that situation, and like it just made it so much more real. I just
He
imagined
seems
like
alright.
just stopping in the middle of the road because I could imagine me being like, "Oh man, we better phone the police if it's that serious." And then Rachel going, "No, we're going. Come on."
Oh man. No, I did. Yeah, I get what you're saying though, in terms of it wasn't an unreasonable request. She just was just like, I don't want to have anything to do with none. So
I thought that was such a brilliant scene for like building the tension, man, because it's like, oh, like because you can see like the guy wants to, and like he does actually want to help, and like he wants to go and sort of do what he's being asked to do, but the wife being like, no, we don't want any trouble, just like completely flips the situation, and it just makes it so frustrating as well. I thought that's a brilliant thing.
Also, Ben, I see what you just did.
What's
In
that?
fact, not even what you just did. I know what you did before. I realized that I hadn't changed my name since The Martian, and so I made it Truck 1-2-3-4. But now Ben has changed that name to Slut 1-2-3-4.
I changed it.
I don't have the permission to do that.
Oh my god! I thought I had Ben written all over it. Sorry, Ben. It had your signature. Carry on. Also, that's the worst Dustin Hoffman gif you could have found. He doesn't look anything like him.
I suppose. Well, let me find another one.
Yeah, let's do it.
If I didn't use like Captain Hook, it would be a bit.
This guy. That's more him. Anyway. Do you want to contribute?
No.
No.
He's busy getting it on, isn't
This is my pegging face.
he?
Oh my.
You can't
No, it's
get
okay.
in
Go back to doing what you were doing.
there. Yeah. Film.
Dan's happy son.
God. No. I don't know.
Excellent. See you next week.
Bye. Ow.
Anyone got anything for production?
For its time, I thought it was pretty good.
And then one of the things that I really liked about it is that it just really felt like an 80s slasher film. And I mean, you can see in a lot of films like sort of Halloween and Friday the 13th and things like that. That a lot of the production style has probably been inspired by it.
Hmm.
It's kind of like Jaws. Like if you replace the shark in Jaws with just like somebody like Michael Myers, you've got a slasher film. And it's the same with this. Like if you replace the truck with a person, you've got a slasher film.
Oh, I thought you said flasher film.
God damn it.
I'm sat next to him and I hear things differently more so when I'm next to him than I do through the.
So mysterious. I thought like this, you know, when they speed it up, I didn't find that too jarring somehow. I know, obviously, I noticed it, but I didn't think it was as egregious as I usually find it.
I don't think it's something that Spielberg could do now, but like, yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I do think they do like a really good job with the angles on that of making you look into the rear view mirrors and that. Like, Okay, so any closing thoughts?
It's good.
It's good. Yeah, it's really good. Shut up, Emmanuel.
It's a film.
It's a good film. Film got car in it. Film got car and truck. Bang.
Sounds strange.
So nice. Got cast in it.
I'm back to being so uncomfortable.
Slap sandwich out of hand. Yes, big sir. Yes, sir.
Sounds like a gremlin.
Any closing thoughts, I guess?
It was good, wasn't it?
It was good. I liked it.
Yes.
What's your film, Humphrey? Go away.
Go on, Dan.
You're on mute. You're still on mute. We can't hear your film.
Oh, sorry. Someone's talking over you. Wasn't Nicole?
Okay, cool. I can hear you now.
My film is Leon the Perfect.
Oh, you cunt.
Ah, can I watch the director's cut?
Yes.
Is there one?
You can watch any version.
Didn't know there's a director's cut.
Yeah, I think that's the one I have downloaded. If I still have it.
Can't say that, Emmanuel.
What?
You can't say you do that. It's recorded.
I've got a digital code, you know.
Ah,
I'm downloading it from a legal reputable site.
legit.
Yeah, I paid for it a while ago, long time ago. Never kind of watched it, you know.
Good to know that you're
Just to
legally
clarify, we're
related.
talking about Leon the Professional, yeah?
Yeah,
I'm so sad.
Natalie bought me.
So
Jean Reno.
yeah, it's been on my list to watch, but I've never got around to watching it. But one thing I would say about Duel before we go off is that it is nice that, like, even though maybe it didn't sync with me, that it was successful enough to really help him make other films.
Yeah.
So I think he knew what he was doing. So, and even if I wasn't, let's say, invested, I did always have a sense that something else was just going to happen. Like, he was never truly going to escape. It's either one of them dies, or one of their vehicles get totaled, or he's actually going to make it into some big city and then that's when he's going to get some reprieve. So
Yeah.
it was
Agreed.
successful in that.
I think we're all just a bit grossed out with Humphrey. That's okay.
Camera off.
Cool. I'm gonna see
Yeah, see that, dude.
Yes, let's all leave
yeah,
uncomfortably.
thanks. and
You guys in a
sorry
bit.
for
See you later.
sorry for being late.
Bye.
It's all right.
Okay,
I'm gonna
See
be
you in a
going.
bit.
Bye. Have a
take
good
care.
evening.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you.